Let's switch gears here at 8:32 this morning. And, you know, there's a lot of debate when it comes to carbohydrates. Which one should we incorporate into our diet? How much should we eat? Which one should we avoid? So here to clear the air with a crash course in carb cycling is nurse practitioner and nutritionist Cynthia Thurlow. Good morning.
Yeah, great to be here. Thank you.
Well, this is, I have to say, personally, I've always just I never know. I mean, you hear carbs are bad, you should avoid carbs. Carb cycling.
Right.
What is it?
So it's really simple. You have some days where you have more high quality carbohydrates and some days when they're lower. That's really as simple as it is. It's really about the quality of the carbs that you're eating more than anything else.
Okay, so for someone that maybe wants to and maybe has had success in like a low carb diet before, this is kind of, because carbs aren't bad for us, right?
No, and I think it's, again, it always goes back to the quality of the carbohydrates that we're consuming. So it's not about the fact that I'm ever going to say to someone, don't have a piece of fruit or don't have a sweet potato. It's, I would prefer you have that over having cookies and cake and pasta and things like that. So these are going to be a more nutrient dense option, a healthier option for someone to consume.
All right, so these are the fruits and vegetables that are high in carbohydrates?
Well, these are what I consider to be healthier carbohydrate options. So, you know, we're heading into fall, so we have multiple types of squash here, sweet potatoes. These are collard greens, but green leafy vegetables, great type of carbohydrate. I've got berries. They're a lower sugar option. These are some of my favorites. Quinoa is a seed, but it's considered to be a grain most often. But these are some of my favorites that I recommend to clients over things like breads and pastas and rice and things like that. These are, you're going to get the most bang for your buck, the most nutrients, and the ones that are less likely to contribute to some of the unpleasant side effects that happen when people consume too many carbs.
Yeah, and so what are some of the benefits of this carb cycling?
Well, so first and foremost, it can help fuel fat loss. It can balance your blood sugar. For many people, they find when they cycle their carbohydrates, they'll actually have better sleep, and that can be a big issue for women. You know, if they're waking up in the middle of the night and they're eating too low carb, oftentimes it can be because an insulin response has been provoked. They can, you know, kind of tap into cortisol. So those are the key things that I really emphasize. And for many people who are in the gym that are trying to make gains, they want better muscle definition, this combined with intermittent fasting can oftentimes be like it's kind of like the crown jewel. It's the thing that can really be profoundly effective.
All right, I'm really interested in this. And this is also, so let's kind of walk through some of the other food options that you have for us as well.
Yeah, so one of the things I wanted to point out is that fiber is something that we need in our diet to help keep us full. When we're calculating net carbs, when we're looking at that, fiber-rich foods are not going to count the same as some others. So these are some of my favorites. Lentils, split green peas. These are figs, which are amazing this time of year. Canned pumpkin, broccoli, apples, chia seeds. So these are some of my favorites. So it gives a couple, you know, variety of options for people, but keeps you full. They're not counted the same way that a net carbohydrate, if you have a banana, is. So for many people, it can help bring down their total carbohydrates over the course of a day.
Because isn't there a calculation, kind of?
Yes, so you take total carbohydrates minus fiber and sugar alcohols, which that's what this little green package is up front. So that's xylitol, and it's a sugar alcohol. It is neither a sugar and it is not an alcohol. It's just one of those crazy things that was created in a lab, and for many people that are trying to go lower carb, they'll use that as a sweetener over some other options. I personally don't use xylitol. I just like to bring it up so that people, if they're calculating their total carbs over the course of a day, they know that's kind of like a freebie.
Okay, wonderful. And you brought some recipes for us.
Yes,
so talk to us a little bit about some of your creations.
Yeah, so I have some low carb options and then some higher carbs. So the low carb option is a pumpkin ketogenic bread. It has walnuts. It's delicious. It's made with almond flour and eggs and butter, so real whole foods.
Oh my God, and it's so fall-like. Oh, it's so delicious.
I love pumpkin. Any excuse to get more pumpkin in my diet this time of the year. But I also included some of my other low-carb favorites. You know, hummus, string cheese if you're doing dairy or raw cheese. There's also unsweetened coconut. Pistachios are one of my favorite low-carb foods. You know, nuts and seeds are really very easy and kind of plentiful. And then, you know, kind of transitioning over to higher carb. So this would be low carb is what I would generally recommend if someone's doing HIIT training or cardiovascular training, lower carb day. When you're doing strength training, then you can kind of dial up on the carbs a little bit so that you have a little bit more energy. Dried fruit's a great option. I've got a couple different ones there. I meant to mention olives as being a good low carb option.
Ooh, I love olives.
Love olives. And then, you know, the other piece is there are some energy balls in the front, and so they have oatmeal, which is one of those carbohydrate-dense things. You're more than welcome to have one.
I was going to say.
They've got chia seeds, flax seeds, they've got sunflower seed butter, but you could actually add any type of nut butter or peanut butter that you wanted. They've got some dark chocolate chips, and then sweet potatoes and oatmeal are always safe options.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and like one of those balls, I mean, those are actually good size. That's like a good snack. You could have it after the gym. You could have it, you know, if you want to use it as a treat during the day. It's not going to derail your hard work. But what I love about carb cycling in general is that for so many people doing that, it makes them, you know, it kind of will tap into fuel stores. So you'll burn up some glycogen that's in the muscles and also in your liver. But it can be that magic bullet for many people. Carb cycling can adjust for their cravings that they're experiencing, fuel that fat loss that they're really looking for.
And for someone that, you know, still likes their carbs, they can still get it. They're not, you know, nixing it completely from the diet.
And I'm not anti-carb because I think it's so important. I think when women get below 50 net grams of carb a day, they can start having some hormonal issues. It can affect their thyroid, can affect some other things. It can slow your metabolism. So definitely something you have to be conscientious about.
All right. So CHTwellness.com.
Yep.
I love your website. Subscribe for her emails.
Thank you.
Follow. Thank you for some great information.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Great to be here.
All right. 8:38, and we will have more of Good Morning Washington after the break.